Business Focus, brought to you by KCB. KCB, making the difference.
Hello and welcome to the premiere episode of Business Focus, a new business magazine that aims to unlock the business potential of Kenyan entrepreneurs across the region. We intend to support speedy growth and development in entrepreneurship through seeking practical solutions to problems affecting your business and by discovering and exploring unique business models in East Africa. We welcome your feedback about the show through the SMS number 8041 or email address businessfocus@standardmedia.co.ke. I am your host, Malaki Villa. The Business Beyond Limits segment highlights and solves the problems affecting growth in the Kenyan SME sector. And this week, we look at benefits of venturing into high-value crops.
As Kenya seeks to address the issue of food security, one major practical way cited is a shift from traditional subsistence farming to modern farming methods. Modern farming entails application of modern technology science and shifting from ordinary crops to high-value crops that give higher yields within a short period and also translate to better economic returns.
As Kenyans must now realize that there is money in agriculture if they take it as a business.
In Kenya, maize and kales are staple crops planted in most parts of the country. This implies that their pricing is low due to the crop's production outstripping demand in most areas. Also, for a farmer to make meaningful gains from a crop like maize, one has to have a large acreage of land and also rely on the rain patterns. A case in point being the Talent Farm that lies on a 9,000 parcel of land in Gorgeri area in Narok, all under maize and wheat plantation.
When we now come for planting, we can then plant down that same line using a plant of the same width as the implement we've used, and then plant down with zero overlap. So makes it economical, saving on seed, fertilizer, diesel. We don't plant twice on one place. We don't put fertilizer down on one place, which you would get a lot of if you didn't have one of these systems.
Due to employing modern technology and being highly mechanized, the economics of scale favor them and their profit margins from the produce are very high. The Ministry of Agriculture and the Agricultural Finance Corporation have been supportive both to the large, medium and small-scale farmers by not only supplying them with information and training on best farming practices, but also funding them.
As far as the ministry is concerned, we are constantly trying to help the farmers. We have tried our best to make sure that those small-scale farmers have subsidized inputs. I think this is a very well-known story. In a case like this farm, I think most people do not realize that we lend to farmers of all sizes.
The Ministry of Agriculture through the Agricultural Finance Corporation grants loans at a 10% interest rate and offers 5% on cash crops like coffee and tea. It also gives loans for seasonal crops like these cereals payable after harvest.
Maximum, so far our biggest loan now is 60 million.
The solutions for small and medium-scale farmers who have less than an acreage piece of land and also want to engage and benefit from commercial farming are many.
Just go to our branches. We have now trained branch managers, customer service representatives. They will give you any information that you want.
Private sector players like Ameren have inculcated a concept of high-value crops targeting small and medium-scale farmers.
The Ameren Farmers Kit is a concept. It's a holistic approach. It's not a greenhouse like people think. It's a holistic approach that was developed and invented here in Kenya to bring the small-scale farmer the possibility to lift themselves up, to go with pride and to bring food security and sustainable agribusiness to their houses.
Meet Steve Njuguna, one such farmer in Nairobi's Kitengela area. He operates greenhouses for both tomatoes and capsicums, what you popularly refer to as pilipili hoho in Swahili.
Nilinunua hizo greenhouses mwaka wa jana mwezi wa Novemba kutoka Ameren. Ndio kutoka hapo sasa nikanunua bisa za nyanya na bisa pilipili hoho. Kutoka hizo bili sasa nikanunua, baada ya kuuza nyanya nikanunua zingine 4. So to be precise, I bought 4. Nilinunua 4 za nyanya, lakini zile za pilipili sasa hizo ndio napanga kuongeza zingine 2.
He bought the initial greenhouses as part of the Farmers Kit at Ameren, Kenya, an agro-supplier input at a cost of 314,000 Kenya shillings last November, started commercializing the output in the first quarter of this year and added 2 more greenhouses, one of which lies on the ground we now stand.
The average tons for a greenhouse, a standard greenhouse, 8 by 15, our farmers with our varieties of tomatoes, it could be Eva or Corazon, or Nemoneta. These varieties, they are indeterminate tomato. It means they are high value tomatoes. They can harvest even for a year. Depends on the maintenance.
Njuguna's first tomato harvest was 2 months after setting up the system, and though he only operates on half an acreage piece of land, his weekly earnings on tomatoes is 14,000 shillings, with a kilo selling at no less than 70 Kenya shillings. He harvests about 200 kilograms of capsicums every week, making 64,000 shillings every week.
Kutoka mwanzo mpaka wa leo nimeuza nyanya za 478 for 73,000, na pilipili nimeuza za 212,000, na pilipili natarajia nitavuna kwa muda wa miaka 2, na pia nyanya nitaendelea kuvuna kwa miezi 8 ndio ningoe hizo nibadilishe.
The system provides an efficient drip irrigation as well as an application of fertilizer through the same system after being mixed with the water directly to the roots deep down.
Imagine that all these people that are growing, and growing not only this crop, also other crops that are needed. You sort out problem for women group, that they have some occupation, they can feed their own children. You can see that even taking care of the environment from a very small plot, you save a lot of the water. You look at the youth groups, encouraging the youth to go and deal with agriculture and make money as an agribusiness, which is not something very obvious, because people today, we see our customers, the age of our customers is coming to be younger and younger, because they realize that they can make money, generate money out of agriculture. And all over Africa, imagine this, so food problems are going to be reduced very significantly.
Harvests are done all year round, even when supply is low, hence attracting high prices and sales. To venture into high-value crops, farmers can access information on the preferred type of crops from institutions like the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, Ministry of Agriculture, Kenya Agricultural Research Institute, Ameren, and the African Seed Trade Association, among others. Farmers can also access funds from commercial institutions like the Kenya Commercial Bank, Youth Enterprise Development Fund, Women Enterprise Fund, and the Agricultural Finance Corporation. For information on the market for your produce, one can contact Agricultural Society of Kenya, Kenya National Federation of Agricultural Producers, Horticultural Crops Development Authority, Export Promotion Council, Agricultural Society of Kenya, and Fresh Produce Exporters Association of Kenya, and Kenya Agricultural Commodity Exchange Limited. Practically for all crops, appropriate post-harvest technologies in storage, processing and utilization packages are required in order to increase the shelf life of products and also add value to the commodities. It is reckoned that if modern trends in high-value crop farming are adopted, Kenya's aspirations for food security could be met.
Time for a break now, but when we return, we introduce the Emerging Enterprises segment that showcases Kenyan entrepreneurs who have excelled in the different ventures. Don't go away. This week on the Emerging Enterprises segment, we spend time with a farmer in Limuru who makes close to 500,000 Kenya shillings from an 1/8-acre piece of land.
On this afternoon, along the Nairobi-Nakuru highway in Limuru, we find Mary Gathoni cultivating her small farm that lies on an 1/8-acre piece of land. This can pass for ordinary subsistence farming in a rural setup, but not until you take a closer look that you realize there is much more than meets the eye. Enthusiasm, courage and determination is not enough to describe the energetic farmer who has delved into a unique high-value crop that many will not imagine can flourish in Kenya.
I'm a strawberry farmer, cucumber and tomatoes, but I prefer strawberry more than the others.
Gathoni seems to have found an answer to the ongoing debate on whether one can do any meaningful commercial farming activity on a considerably small parcel of land.
Nilianza biashara Transmala, nikatoka huko na classes za 92. Tukaingia hapa 2001, lakini kwanza nilienda Kinangop nikajaribu biashara huko, nikaona huko iko ngumu, sio kama vile nilikuwa nimezoea huko Transmala.
As they say, in any catastrophe lie an opportunity. She was displaced from Transmara during the 1992 political clashes and resettled in Limuru, where she tried several businesses unsuccessfully before settling on farming.
Vile nilikuja hapa Limuru, nikaona sasa ile nikajaribu ile kazi naweza fanya. Nikafikiria naweza ingilia ukulima.
In a group of 5, they went to the Ministry of Agriculture to seek advice on a high-value crop which did not require a large piece of land but has high returns.
Tulikuwa tunataka mmea ile inaenda haraka, inachukua muda mfupi sababu vile hatuna mashamba. Sasa tungependa kulima kitu kama mahindi, tulikuwa tumeona already haina pesa. Hata ukipanda kwa eka moja ama kwa ile nusu, najua hapa mashamba ni kidogo. Sasa kama hii yangu ni 8. Sasa naona nikipanda hiyo mahindi na ngojea karibu mwaka mzima, almost 8 months. Na ile kitu utapata hata uwezi uza na hata itoshelezi mapato ya nyumbani.
They settled on strawberry as their plant of choice and the results did not disappoint.
Vile tulirundi huko wakatuelezea juu ya kuanzia strawberry, Ministry of Agriculture. Na wakatuambia kuna pahali tutaenda tusome ndio tuweze na sisi tujaribu tuone kama inaweza fanya mzuri. Vile tulienda tukaripa na tukaendelea.
From her savings, she leased a parcel of land in 2006 and started planting strawberry after completing a training facilitated by the Ministry of Agriculture. She attests that the plant takes 3 weeks to begin flowering and harvesting.
Usuri wa strawberry haichukui nafasi kubwa. Sasa Limuru hatuna mashamba kubwa. Hii pari nimepanda strawberry peke yake nafikiri kama 8. Nikaendelea tu na sasa hiyo tu ninaenda nikipanua. Ninaongeza beds paka sasa matunda yangu ikakuwa mingi, napeleka Nairobi. Niko na order Nairobi, napeleka Westlands.
The harvesting is done 3 times a week throughout the year and the plant lasts for up to 3 years before replanting.
Kwa wiki tunafuna between 180 to 200 kg. Soko iko. Hakuna mmea iko na soko kama strawberries. Unajua watu hawajajua, walikuwa nafikiria sijui iwezi mmea Kenya, na strawberry hakuna sehemu iwezi mmea. Bora uko na maji.
Demand for strawberry in Kenya is very high due to the scarcity of the fruit. With her clients mainly in Nairobi, Gathoni makes between 350 and 450,000 Kenya shillings a month, depending on the season, despite not being able to satisfy her ever-increasing demand.
Soko yangu iko Nairobi. Yangu napeleka Nairobi, na pia huwa ninapata wateja wanakuja hapa.
7 years down the line, she has managed to purchase the piece of land and expand the acreage under the plant to try and meet the market demand.
Mwezi mmoja ninatengeneza between strawberry peke yake bila kuhesabu ile ninapata kwa jam ama kwa juice. Matunda peke yake bila hata kuweka seedlings, huwa ninapata between 350,000 mpaka 450.
From the proceeds, she has managed to build her own house as well as invest in other ventures. She has also tried other high-value crops such as tomatoes and cucumbers, but she still prefers strawberry to them all.
Strawberry nikilinganisha sasa na nyanya, pesa ile ninapata kwa strawberry ni nyingi kuliko ya nyanya.
According to Gathoni, this is just the beginning of the realization of her dream. She is also working towards adding value to the fruits by making jam, which she intends to sell beyond her locality.
Ninafanya variation, huwa ninatengeneza jam. Na jam yangu siweki chemical, siweki color. Nina preserve na lemon juice. Sasa mi yangu inakuwa strawberry peke yake, alafu na sukari na lemon juice. Lakini iko kipimo ile ninaweka.
At the moment, she is in the process of applying for the Kenya Bureau of Standards certification, after which she is planning on getting a loan so as to acquire the necessary machines to produce her new brand of jam, so she could eventually stop selling the fruits in raw form and earn more.
Taenda nipate hiyo sasa niweze kupeleka kwa maduka. Sasa nataka hata nikiwezekana niwache kuuza matunda yangu, niwe nina process vijana. Ningewaambia hakuna kazi nyingine nzuri kuliko ukulima. Wanasema ni kazi ya uchafu, lakini si ya uchafu. Sababu hata saa hii nikioga, nifae, niende na labda hakuna mtu anajua ati nimetoka kwa shamba. Na hiyo na pesa haisemi mimi hii pesa ni ya shamba. Hata nikienda kununua kitu, si pesa ni pesa.
She has demonstrated that high-value crops yield high returns, and value addition, when applied in the agribusiness chain, results in higher returns to the agricultural sector.
In the regional market segment, each week we shall carry out a feature showcasing the best performing industries and best business models in the different East African nations to promote integration and enable each of the country's business community to borrow from each other the best practices, hence boost growth. And this week we take you to Uganda, where we showcase an entrepreneur in Mbarara town who has identified a niche in high value crops.
Our journey to Uganda begins at the Busia border point, where our passports are stamped at the Kenya-Uganda custom point. We experience free movement across the border, brought about by the East Africa integration. A 3.5-hour drive on a 232-kilometer highway leads us to the capital city, Kampala. The busy city, dominated by a wide range of economic activities, symbolize the fast-growing East African hub that is also Kenya's biggest trade partner in the region. One cannot fail to notice the countless number of motorbikes littered in the streets and the new orange Yontong Chinese commuter buses that have become the new face of Kampala public transport. From Kampala, we head to Mbarara town, 268 kilometers deep in western Uganda. This agricultural town is home to the President of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni. We visit a farmer in Mbarara who has ventured in a unique high-value crop. With more than 40 acres of plant and a grapefruit farming, this is arguably one of the largest grapefruit farms in East Africa. Holding the responsibility of managing the farm, which is a family business model, Jenan Mobehamwe is pleased with the results of the unique business they undertook.
We are following a model by, there is a book on by John Kim Mabong. He's an Indian, a Chinese. And he wrote a book on how to make competition irrelevant. As you're aware, almost all businesses have competition, but how do you ensure that you minimize this kind of competition? So like I told you, the farming started about 40 years, but then the competition was catching up. Everybody was joining the animal farming, so we had to move away from that.
After adopting a high-value crop that had been planted for over 40 years by the Catholic parish in Barara, Uganda at small-scale level, Janen's family made a huge business risk by venturing into unknown territories. The outcome was positive.
The plants at the Catholic parishes have been there for over 40 years. So we thought this is something that can be a long-term project that we can engage in and benefit from it. The plants take an average of 2 years from when you plant to the first harvest.
Their first crop was in 2004 on an acre piece of land as a pilot project. The first harvest was overwhelming in 2006, leading to a decision to gradually expand the acreage under the plant to 40 acres.
After the first harvest, of course, in the process there you need to do some pruning, because if you don't prune, then the plant stretches a long distance and the kind of nutrients it gets is divided up.
The farm harvests 6,000 kilograms of grapes twice a year within the two harvesting seasons of January and July. To boost further their production, Janen has trained and given incentives to his immediate neighbors to become his outgrowers. They supply him a further 5,000 kilograms of grapes every harvesting season.
We pay according to the kilos. So when they harvest and bring to the factory, we measure and see how much each of those people have brought, and then pay them per kilogram. Per kilogram is 2,000 is what we are paying them now, which is slightly less than $1.
The produce is taken to this wine production plant for value addition. Here, different levels of filtering and fermentation are done for 12 months until the wine is ready.
And then the other machine, extreme end, is for the seal, putting the seal and the labels. And then that marks the end of our processing line.
The wine is then bottled in 750 milliliter custom-made bottles, branded, then packaged, ready for the market.
Our market so far is largely the whole of Uganda has more or less been covered, just except a few areas in the West Nile region. And our target is we are dealing largely with supermarkets and some wine shops.
This is the end product, Value Wine, a popular brand in Uganda retailing at $6 per bottle. The company is working towards exploring the regional market for higher returns.
We are making some contacts with Rwanda to see if they can sell there, Southern Sudan if they can get, and in the next few weeks we should be able to tap into the Kenyan market and see.
This business has given employment to 30 permanent employees and 150 outgrowers.
I'm happy to let you know that we've been able to contribute to the government policy in achieving its strategy of poverty reduction. Then too, the other thing that we have achieved is creating employment for the outgrowers, because they also employ some people, so there is income spread.
This family business is currently worth about $450,000 and gets an annual net profit of $15,000.
My encouragement to people is that, of course, agriculture is the way to go. It's the backbone of our economy. All the other functions are supportive. And in this environment where unemployment is high, it is one way of creating employment for themselves.
It has proved that East Africa entrepreneurs have the capacity to develop brands that can compete in the international platforms, and all we need is to believe in ourselves and work tirelessly towards the realization of the East African dream.
As we come to a close of this week's show, let's continue with our conversation on our Facebook page and Twitter handle. We also welcome your comments, suggestions, and questions to the email address businessfocus@standardmedia.co.ke or SMS number 8041. From myself and the entire KTN team, thank you for watching. I am Malaki Villa. Let's do it again next Thursday. Good night and God bless.
Business Focus, brought to you by KCB. KCB, making the difference.